Welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. This is our week 7 pick show. Week 7. We're almost halfway through the year. This is insane how quickly it's going. It's been great, but I'm already seeing that it's coming to an end sooner rather than later, and I don't like it. But it's a lot of fun. We're gonna get to our pickskin pick'ems, but first, how are you doing, Lance?
Andrew, I'm doing good, man. You know, it's good to have a show like this that encourages me to get up earlier and to make more advantage of our morning. We should basically turn
Hmm.
this into like the 5:30, 5:45 show because that's what it's become. And
That's right.
yeah, but hey, when you have kids and your time's limited, you got to fit it in when you
Got
can.
you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, I get it. And it's been very helpful because yeah, we don't lose time with our family because they're asleep and we're just up here doing our side thing here, having fun.
Yeah. But hey, I look forward to this, and I've got to pat my lead. So
Yeah, your lead just keeps growing just a little bit every single week. You got by like 9 last week, I think. So I'm having to be bold because there's been some weird upsets that no one would have thought. So I'm having to try to pick those.
it really is interesting. It's funny how you're 2 spots away from jumping to fourth, and I'm 2 points away from jumping to first.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm coming for you, Logan. The guy that doesn't watch NFL football is the one that's beating everyone in our little group.
Of course. He's just randomly picking the teams that probably have the best odds.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny, man. But
Hmm.
go figure. So, but
Yeah.
you know, shout out to our group. We've done a pretty good job. All of us
Yeah.
have winning. We all
Yeah.
have winning records. That's all that
Hmm.
matters. We have winning records.
Yep.
So yeah, but yeah, man,
Well,
I'm ready when you are.
before we get
Uh-huh.
into it, I have to tell you something. A friend of mine just recently got a horse and he named it Mayo. And sometimes mayonnaise.
Oh goodness. Have you
I
been
love a
working on
good
that?
dad joke.
Have you been working on that one for a little bit, Andrew?
No, no. I love dad jokes and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna bring one dad joke every episode. I think it'd be fun.
I didn't know that that was essential for this podcast, but I love the bit, love the commitment, Andrew.
Hmm.
Well,
I think it should be a new segment. Dad
You
joke
tell
of the
Mayo,
day.
you tell Mayo that I said hi, Andrew.
I will. He'll probably neigh. Oh man. Okay. Now that the important stuff's out of the way, let's get to our picks here. So first up, we're gonna go over Thursday night football. Steelers at Bengals. The Steelers are kind of running away with this division because everyone's hurt in their division. Lamar Jackson's been out. They're 1-5. The Ravens are. Joe Burrow's out. They're 2-4. The Browns are just the Browns. So the Steelers are just sitting there, drinking their cocktails, like this is the life. Aaron Rodgers is playing okay. I think he's getting a little too much credit, but I got to give him some credit. He's doing enough to win. He's getting the ball out to DK Metcalf. They're running the ball pretty well. Their defense is
Hmm.
starting to get together. But the Bengals were semi-impressive last week. They played close to a good Packers team. Joe Flacco got the ball to Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase did Jamar Chase things, which he can easily take over any game. This and I heard this was called like the icy hot bowl, which I thought was really funny because Aaron Rodgers versus Joe Flacco. I thought that was well done by whoever came up with that. This one I so wanted to pick the Bengals because I was looking at what upsets am I going to pick. Okay, Thursday night football. It's always a strange game, short week. I think the Steelers are a little bit overrated. They're 4-1, but I don't think they're a true 4-1 team. They've played well, but I just don't think they're on that like elite level like they might be getting credit for. And Jamar Chase is a player that he could win any game for you because he's just that good. And Joe Flacco has played fairly well in the games he's played, and it's at Cincinnati. I initially had this as a Bengals win, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I switched it literally this morning to the Steelers. I only gave it a confidence level 3 though, because I think the Bengals can get them, but I can't pull that trigger. I can't pick them until I actually see them win another game.
Well, we don't have anything else to talk about, Andrew, because I also picked him by three.
Really?
In true fashion, for the most part, it's we are mostly the same. It's just like two, three games where we pick
Yep.
differently, and those games are the ones I win. Like that's the
Yep, pretty
hardest
much.
part.
Pretty much.
So yeah, man, I picked him by three, and you've covered it. There's nothing else to cover. One part I will say, as far as fantasy football wise, um, Joe Flacco might save the value of Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase
Yeah.
was tanking pretty bad because of Jake
Hmm.
Browning being the quarterback, and um, so we'll see what happens long term. But I do think that Jamar Chase becomes more playable because of Joe Flacco. I don't think that necessarily means they're
Yep.
going to win, but I do think that that's
Right.
going to make them more competitive.
Yeah. Joe Flacco, he does want to get hit, so he's like, all right, I'm getting this ball out. I don't care if it's like a 2 yard out route. I'm getting this ball out. And then Jamar Chase is the type of guy that catches that ball and he can take it to the house at any time.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have the game in London. Rams at Jaguars. Now, this is quote unquote a home game for the Jaguars, but it's in London, which actually, honestly, is a home game for the Jaguars because they always play in London every single year, it seems like. So they know what they're doing over there overseas. For the Rams, looks like Puka Nacua is probably going to miss this game. Their coach was like hesitant. It's like, yeah, he's day to day. We'll see. I'm not convinced. I think he's going to miss at least one game. It's not a long-term thing. He hurt his ankle in that last game against the Ravens, but he was hobbling pretty good. And this is the overseas game in London, so he probably doesn't get as much like medical attention on that ankle. So I'm just assuming that he's probably going to miss this game, and
Hmm.
that's a big loss. Devontae Adams is good, but Puka Nacua has been the best receiver in football this year. Um, and Matthew Stafford's been targeting him like 19 million times a game. It's like him and Jackson Smith and Jigba's like, okay, who's getting more targets this game? Me. It's back and forth. Both of them are just eating up targets. And Kyron Williams has been good, but he's been fumbling a little bit. That's something to keep an eye on. And the Jaguars have crazily had a good defense. They have a huge turnover margin as far as the defense is concerned. So I've been impressed with them. Brian Thomas Jr. is getting going again. Trevor Lawrence, he's starting to turn a corner, maybe, at least this season. He's had two back-to-back pretty decent games overall. Rams D line is legit, but I'm going to go Jaguars.
Hmm.
Again, I got to pick some upsets. I think that's kind of an upset because the Rams are the better team. But this is in London. Crazy things happen in London. It's kind of a home game for the Jaguars, honestly, like I mentioned. And I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I think they're the healthier team and they're at home, basically. I'm going with them, confidence level of 4. Not very confident, but I'm gonna go with the Jags.
Same, Andrew. Same on everything. I picked the Jags
Really?
confidence level 4.
Oh man, I thought this was gonna be one we were opposite on.
Well, I mean, you brought up the Puka Nacua fact, and that is a
Yeah.
sneaky, like, big concern. I mean, if Puka Nacua is not playing, um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then
It's a whole different ball
that's
game.
yeah. I mean, it's just it heavily limits your offense, and
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. So we'll see what happens. But the Jaguars defense, the real question I think comes down to me is Trevor Lawrence going to be the Trevor Lawrence that we've seen the past 2 weeks, or is he going
Mm-hmm.
to be the Trevor Lawrence we've seen outside of the last 2 weeks? Because
Mm-hmm.
prior to last week, um, actually, I should say it's 3 weeks now. If it would be 3 weeks of solid football if he played well, because he played good against the Seahawks, he played good against
The Chiefs.
the Chiefs. But the other few weeks, I don't think there's been much there you could be excited about.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that continues. If he continues to play good, competent football, move the football,
Mm-hmm.
get touchdowns, don't hold your offense back, then I think that they have a great chance of winning. I know they didn't beat the Seahawks, but it was definitely due to some other factors, I would say, overall in the game that
Mm-hmm.
that really like the running game never got going. Um, I don't think that the Rams have quite as good of a defense. They have a good defense as the Seahawks, or compared to the Seahawks, but I think that's a big issue here as far as, can the Jags exploit that? Can they take advantage of a slightly not as good defense, get their offense going? And I think they could.
Yeah.
And then the Puka Nacua injury is a really big factor too.
Yeah. And the last thing on the Jaguars, either get Travis Hunter more involved or cut him.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Um,
I thought you liked that.
I don't know, man. I just such a weird. Yeah, we have. I have definitely killed that horse. I know I have.
hmm
So we can move on, Andrew.
And not Mayo, different horse.
Yes.
That's called the callback. You're welcome. Okay, moving on to the next game. Dolphins at Browns. I'm looking at this and somehow the Browns are favored. I guess someone had to be in this game. But we're gonna just go with it. So for this game, the Dolphins have actually been pretty competitive. I mean, they were leading the Chargers for a good chunk of that game last week. The
Hmm.
Chargers were just a better team, so they pulled away and they won. But I don't know if I've been impressed with how competitive they are or more disappointed because I just want them to shut it down and get rid of that silly coach. I've never been a McDaniels fan, and with them being competitive, he's still hanging around. I don't know how much longer it's going to last, but he's still hanging around. Devon Achane is phenomenal. Jalen Waddle's been playing really well with Tyreek out. I think they just got more talent than the Browns. I know the Browns defense is legit, but I just think the Dolphins overall have more talent. And if you're going to have Dylan Gabriel throw the ball 50 times, you're going to lose. And
Hmm.
that's what happened last week. Quinshon Judkins should have a bounce back game because the Dolphins' run defense isn't the best. I mean, Rico Dowdle put over 200 on him. So I would assume that Judkins is going to get a lot of carries. Hopefully, Gabriel doesn't throw more than like 35 passes and they can be more balanced. But I only have this confidence level of one because these are like two of the worst teams in the league. The Jets are the worst, the only ones that I would say is worse than these two teams. I'm going to go Dolphins just because they have better firepower on offense, but I only gave it a confidence level of one because this is a game I'm thinking uh, let's just reschedule this and just chalk it up as a tie.
And Andrew, I also have a confidence level of one on this game.
Oh,
So,
come on. We did not collaborate on this, I promise.
but I'm going to pick the Dolphins, and it's purely because of talent.
hmm
They're more talented team, but here's the sneaky thing that we got to keep in mind for this game. Tua is unraveling. He's not
Yeah.
playing good football right now.
And he's blaming people for missing meetings instead of himself. He says it's that. Did you hear that post-game conference where it says it has to
uh,
do with leadership? Well, leadership is on the quarterback.
mhm.
Come on now. He's pointing fingers instead of at himself anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could definitely dig into that. But look, when you throw three interceptions in a game,
Yep.
pretty good chance it's your fault that your team's not doing as good as it should be. Um, but I
Yep.
mean, I just think about that Buffalo Bills game. That interception he threw at the end of the game was a backbreaker.
hmm
It just totally snapped the team. It just,
They probably would have won that game if he didn't throw that pick.
well, you got to be patient. You got to be patient when you're making decisions, especially like, I don't know what it is, but it seems like the red zone is the perfect area sometimes for quarterbacks to throw interceptions because they get
hmm
so hasty in thinking we have to score right now. And the truth
hmm
is, you don't have to score right now. You can divide it up. You can go slower. So anyway, that's another discussion for another day. I'm going to pick the Dolphins here. I just don't think the Browns are quite good enough to get past them. Um, and I got to be honest, I really want the Browns to win. I'm just tired of hearing about the Shador has to be better than Dylan Gabriel discussion. I think we're all
Yeah.
going to be woefully disappointed when Shador gets in there. Um, like,
hmm
let's just throw out this for example. Travis Hunter was supposed to come into the league and be an offensive rookie of the year candidate. And he's not looking like anything close to that. And if Travis Hunter, the person that was the clear better player than Shador Sanders, is struggling in adjusting to the league, I think it's fair to
hmm
say that there's a good chance the quarterback that was throwing to him will also struggle in this league. I don't
Yep.
think it's a one for one, but I'm just saying you have to look at the evidence. Dylan Gabriel is struggling now. The Browns lack a good team, and we've talked about how they've made bad decisions. So I just think there's too many bad decisions beyond the season for the Browns, I think, to be as competitive as they want to be.
Yeah, and the last point I'll make on the Shadur Sanders thing is 32 teams agreed on him. He didn't get drafted to the fifth round. People scouted him. There are people getting paid a ton of money to scout these players to make their teams better, and 32 teams agreed Shadur Sanders is not a starting quarterback right now. They drafted him in the fifth round.
Right.
That that's all I need to know. I mean, I know that people make mistakes. Look at Tom Brady, look at Brock Purdy, but those are rare outliers, especially at the quarterback position. You'll have some players like receivers, running backs, D linemen, those things that, undrafted or fifth, sixth rounders turn out, but
Yep.
usually not on the quarterback side. Those are
No.
usually pretty well scouted. But we'll move on. We'll move on to the Saints at the Bears. Um, Both teams have been really competitive, and the Bears are pulling out victories while the Saints just are a little bit short. So I think this is going to be a fun game. This Kellen Moore's got Spencer Rattler playing like a competent NFL quarterback. It's been impressive. Their offense is functional. It's moving the ball. Olave's heavily involved. They're starting to get more than Kamara involved in the run game, so he's probably a trade candidate for teams. I wouldn't be surprised if he got moved. But I've been impressed with the Saints. They almost pulled out a win last week against the Pats. They just don't have the talent overall to do it. So them getting a high draft pick, probably going to go quarterback, I would assume, because Spencer Rattler's a nice player,
Hmm.
but I still don't think he's a starting caliber quarterback that can get you wins. He'll be a great backup. Like if the starter gets dinged up for a couple games, Rattler can get you by, but I just don't think he's going to be like a top 20 or top 30 NFL quarterback going forward. I just don't think the Saints have enough players right now, but they're competitive. They're well coached. You can see that. They're a well-run organization as of right now. And on the Bears side, they're starting to get some momentum. They were they had a big lead against the Commanders and they gave it up. Then they came back and kicked that last second field goal. Great story for Jake Moody, gets cut by the Niners, and then Bears pick him up because they're dealing with some injuries, and hey, he wins it for him. Caleb Williamson's playing well. Their offense is it's running really well. Ben Johnson has got them like a well-oiled machine right now. Their defense is fine. It's nothing that you're scared of, but it's fine. But overall, the Bears are playing well. Got to give them credit. I don't like it, but I got to. And so this is at Chicago. It'll be competitive, but I do have the Bears win this game, and I have it right smack dab in the middle. Confidence level of 8.
Okay, finally a difference, Andrew. Bears confidence level
Okay.
of 14. That's what I'm going with.
Oh, okay. You're
Um,
going all in on the Bears.
well, I think that the Commanders game could be the turning point. Just as it was the turning point last year, I think it could be the turning
Okay.
point this year. And Caleb Williams is looking like a legitimate quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm struggling right now to think through the past 5 games he's played in a game that I don't think he played well. I think he's played well this year. Um, he's looking
Hmm.
he's looking like the quarterback the Bears drafted. Um, and I'm impressed by that. I do have to say, as a side note, that the painting fingernails thing really does weird me out with Caleb Williams. I saw
Yeah.
the painted fingernails on the football game on Monday night, and I was like, man, that is
He does it every
so
game.
interesting. But as far as a quarterback and his talent, got to give him props. He looked good. He looked poised, and he's putting his team in position to win. And that's
Hmm.
what happened. They did exactly what they needed to do to beat the Commanders, and that was a game on the road. That was tough. So now you're home. Um, the Saints will hang around, but I expect the Bears to be able to pull away.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll see. But I've got a confidence level of 14, and we will see how it goes.
The one downside to the Bears, I will say, is they've had two games that they could have easily lost. Against the Raiders when they blocked that field goal,
Yes.
easily could have been L, and that's one where they picked off Geno Smith 3 times and they still almost lost. And then this game against the Commanders, it was rainy and the Commanders fumbled the ball twice. One bad snap, one just the ball slipped out of the guy's hand. And then Jaden Daniels did something he usually doesn't do. He threw an end zone interception,
Mhm.
and the Bears won by one. So I mean, they're winning. Give them credit, but it's not like they've looked super impressive in every game. They've had to eke a couple games out where they very well easily could have lost those games. But I'm with you. I got the Bears winning as well, and I don't like it. All right, next up, we're going to go to the Patriots at the Titans. We have the leaders of the AFC East and then last place of the AFC South. I don't think anyone would have anticipated this early in the season that the Patriots would be leading this division. And honestly, their two losses, one against the Raiders week one, where they just weren't quite in sync yet. They didn't play like themselves that game. They just didn't show up. They lost that game. And then against the Steelers, they were marching down the field and there was a fumble in the red zone where they would have taken the lead if that didn't happen. Patriots they're close to an undefeated team. They've been playing well. I've been impressed. Drake Mays looked like the real deal, which goes again to prove the point we had last episode where you got to be patient with these quarterbacks. Last year, Drake May didn't look that great. He had some moments, but overall, he was kind of Is this guy gonna be our guy kind of thing? And gave him time to develop. And this year, he's looking like a legit quarterback. Very impressive. Stephon Diggs is starting to show up again. The thing that they got to get in control of is their run game. They are fumbling the ball way too much. And that's pretty much all their running backs. They get that in control. They're looking like a really good team. Milton Williams is playing really well on their defense. It's been really impressive. And on the Titan side, they've what they've been doing is they get down big and they make these big comebacks to make it somewhat close, or against the Cardinals beat them. But they're showing that they are not a team that's ready. Cam Ward, he does his best, but again, he's a rookie. He needs time to develop. He shows some signs of life, but then you can see the rookiness in him. And they just don't have a lot of talent on this team. Calvin Ridley's not a true one. He's not the guy that he used to be in Atlanta. They have a couple rookies on the team that's showing out a little bit. The run game's okay, but I think they're going to be sellers at the deadline. And I'm going to say, hey, Titans, call Quasey, send Jeffrey Simmons. Thank you very much. But I'm going to go with the Patriots in this one. And I have this as my confidence level of 13. The Titans, they're not going to be able to win this game. Patriots are playing well. They're they're a good team, and the Titans just are not.
Yeah, I don't think we need to spend long on this one, Andrew, but I do have a confidence level of 15 for this one. This is my game that I think is the most comfortable to pick.
Okay.
Um, I think it's more so a testament to the Patriots than it is to how terrible the Titans are. And this is why I'd say that, is because the parity of the league is leveling out. It's more, or I should say maybe increasing, but it's really hard to know which teams are going to like blow out. To be clear, when I say confident, it doesn't mean blowout. It's going to be just runaway 30-point game win. I just mean the Patriots look good. They look really good. If you didn't watch that Sunday night game against the Bills, you might not really understand that. But that win against the Bills was a big boy win. They put on their big boy pants, went to Buffalo, and they beat up on the Patriots on the Bills. And that's all you can say. You know, um, I think Drake May's been good. For the Titans, I just don't think Cam Ward's quite there yet, as far as to like be a true like put the team on his back, win the game. And so when you combine that with Tony Pollard being a okay back, he's been okay this year. Like it's not been like um, you know, taking over games, Derrick Henry style play. That's not him. He is a fine back. Probably like top 14 running back is probably where I put him, but not much higher than that. So definitely like the Patriots here. And also one other key factor why I feel this confident, this is Mike Vrabel's revenge game. It's time for him to get revenge.
Hmm.
Um, this might be, Andrew,
I think we talked about this a little bit, but I think that that was one of the worst firings in the past 25 years in the NFL. I I understand they were going through a slump. I understand you want to restart, but Callahan, like that was the guy that you thought was gonna, which by the way, they just fired the guy. Um,
Hmm.
Here's the thing I'll stand by. If the Dolphins really believed that that McDaniel should be the coach this year, they're certainly acting like it. They're standing behind him and saying, "Look, this is his team. This is what he wanted. We still think he can do it. We're going to give him a chance." What the Titans did with Callahan makes zero sense. And here's why it makes zero sense beyond just being confident for the whole season. You just drafted a new quarterback. What on earth do you have a guy that you don't fully believe in? Like, why would you allow him to be the head coach for your football team? That doesn't make any sense. Um, I really liked this quote. It's by Abraham Lincoln. But he's talking about how he needs to replace the general of his army against the South. And everyone wanted him to replace the top general because they were just like, it's obvious. He's got to go. McClellan's not working. And he said, you all want me to replace him with anybody, but I want to replace him with somebody. And the mindset is don't make your move as an organization unless you're confident that you know who that somebody is going to be. And I think that's where the Titans made the
Right.
mistake. Don't move on from Vrabel unless you absolutely know who your plan B is. Look at the Patriots. The Say what you want about the Gerard Mayo situation. They felt confident that Vrabel was better, and so far Vrabel is proving it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very well said. Um, I bet you the Titans right now wish that they did make that decision because look what
They,
Vrabel's done to the Patriots. The Patriots might have been the worst team in football last year, at least
mhm.
bottom five, and now they're one of the top five teams in football. Just boom, like that. Sometimes it's just a coaching change.
Coaching makes a big difference, man. I mean, we talked about the
Hmm.
Matt LaFleur effect in Green Bay. It's the same kind of thing set up here. I think that the Patriots will be a stable organization.
Hmm.
Um, don't have to worry about girlfriend drama, Andrew. Don't have to worry about uh, when was my girlfriend born versus when am I, you know, like what age were they when they were born? What was I when they were born? Don't have any of that awkward stuff going on. You got a proven coach with a great track record as a player and a coach. Um, One thing I will say, if too, on the Patriots, this is a separate note, but if for some reason the Eagles decide that AJ Brown can no longer stay in Philly, this is where he's going to go.
Interesting.
I feel
Very
comfortable
interesting.
making that call right now, but this is where I really believe he'll end up is in New England.
Okay. What do you think you'll get back for him?
I don't know. I'm still really hopeful they work things out.
Yeah.
Um, but the Terrell Owens and McNabb thing didn't work out. There's a chance the Hurts Brown thing doesn't work out. Um, but we'll get to that drama later, Andrew. We're building up the anticipation. If that was a little
Hmm.
tease, we'll build
Hmm.
up to it.
Hmm. I like it. I like it. Well, we'll go to the next game here, which I feel like this is probably going to be a high confidence level for both of us. That's Chiefs at, actually Raiders at Chiefs, excuse me. So this is at KC. Um, for the Raiders, they got a win last week. Congratulations, they beat the Titans. I don't know how much of a feel good that is, but hey, a win's a win in this league. Geno Smith didn't throw three picks; he only threw one, so that's an improvement. But he needs to turn that into zero if he's going to be consistently winning in this league, especially this year. The Raiders are dealing with some interesting things. Brock Bowers has not been healthy this year. He's played through some injuries, and he just hasn't been the same guy. If he can get back to himself, maybe this offense can look a little better. But it hasn't looked bad overall. It's just in spurts, you're thinking, what's going on? Geno Smith is just throwing picks left and right. The one thing they are getting right, though, is Ashton Genty. They are using him more. He is looking like the best running back in this rookie class, like he was going in. Very electric, very explosive, breaking tackles, scoring touchdowns. It's finally turning around for Ashton Genty, but it's just the pass game. It's like, what are we doing here? Trey Tucker is involved a little bit here and there, Jacoby Myers here and there, but Geno Smith just needs to play better. And he's going against a Spags defense that is not easy to win against, as Jared Goff saw last week. And Jared Goff is a good quarterback. I mean, I say some things about him not being well Super Bowl, but he is a good quarterback. I can openly admit that. And the Chiefs pretty much shut him down. On the Chiefs side, they're getting Rashee Rice back. Xavier Worthy's healthy. Travis Kelce's still hanging around. The run game is a little concerning, but they have their dudes back. And Patrick Mahomes is playing on an MVP level. If I had to vote right now, which I don't vote, but if I had to, Baker's number one. But I think Mahomes might be two because for this team to be 3-3 and seeing their schedule and what he's had to do, he's played so well. He just comes up short in a few games. Now, I don't think he's a close two. I think it's Baker by a good distance. But after that, to me, it's like the Mahomeses of the world. It's the Goffs. It's the Daniel Jones. It's the Sam Darnolds. That mix in that is that next mix. But I would probably put Mahomes at the top of that just because he's the best player involved in that group. But he's been playing well. This is the Chiefs game. They're going to start making a run, I believe. I got the Chiefs winning, and this is my confidence of 14.
It's interesting. I also got the Chiefs, but I only got them by 5. That's my confidence.
Okay.
Um, I think the Chiefs are the better team and they should win this one, and maybe I should be higher. I just divisional games, man, they're tough. They're really hard to predict. And so far what we've seen this year is most divisional games have been closer all around than people anticipate.
Yeah.
Haven't gone the way people thought they would. The Bills and Dolphins, the Bills and Patriots, the Eagles and the Giants, um, the
Eagles,
Seahawks.
Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of examples that we could list through here. The Bears
Hmm.
and the Vikings. Um, and overall, I think that this tendency of a trend has continued where divisional games have been very competitive, um, all the way through Broncos, Chargers. So I think that continues where it's closer than it should be. But that's just, I think, because of the divisional effect. I mean, really,
Hmm.
someone said one time that when you get to divisional games, you pretty much take all the information you have and throw it out the window because it's
Hmm.
just different. There's other factors here at play. You play them twice a year. Um, the Chiefs are also coming off a big win, so it's going to be really hard to be up for this game. You got to be locked in, and this is the Chiefs, so I think they'll do that, but just a little bit lower on confidence for me. But we'll see what's going
Okay.
to happen with Geno Smith. Definitely a huge factor. Geno's thrown the ball as far as turnovers, like 2 or 3 this game, and Raiders most likely will not be able to survive that.
Yeah, they might not be able to survive the season. I mean, they lose this game, go 2-5. I think their playoff chances is pretty much done.
Yeah, I mean
But
the part that's weird to me is that it really just comes down to Geno Smith. That has been the difference. It just has not worked out. It's strange. It's not
yeah,
what I anticipated. Um, at this point, the Seattle Seahawks must have just really believed he was going to hit the cliff. I think that's why they moved on because that's certainly what we're seeing here. Is it looks like he's hit a cliff, and
yeah,
you know, all well.
yeah. I don't know if they could have seen this happening. I think it was more along the lines of they saved a little money and got younger with a similar quarterback. So I mean, Sam Darnold's ceiling wasn't much higher than Geno Smith's ceiling, but he's younger and he was cheaper. And both their production was about the same last year. So that's what I think they decided to do. And I don't think they saw this happening where he's throwing pick after pick after pick. If they did, props to him, but I don't know if anyone saw this bad of play from him, especially with his coach. Going to his coach, Pete Carroll, coach him up really well, and just hasn't worked out,
I
at least
mean,
so far.
I do think it's important to point out some differences here. Sam Darnold has a 116 passer rating this season.
He does.
That's
I think he's like top three in like any category as far as analytically you look at.
I mean, he's got a 70% completion rating, 1,500
Hmm.
yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That surpasses pretty close to what anything that Darnold and Geno Smith put out previously. So I'm just saying, I got to push
Hmm.
back on that notion that they didn't just swap out. They got an upgrade. If things
Well, they did,
continue,
but I don't know if they thought that before it happened. Like they might have thought Sam Darnold's a better player, but
Uh-huh.
going from what you saw last year, they were both pretty even because we were
Sure.
looking at them in the offseason because we talked about this a lot and they were pretty even as far as everything. And so what I'm thinking is that their decision to go this route is both players are pretty much same production as far as last year at least, but we're going to go with the guy that doesn't cost as much. We get some draft capital in exchange for one of them,
Hmm.
and we get a little younger. I'm just saying, I don't know if they
Yeah.
anticipated that it was this big of a difference between the two this year,
Right.
but it has been. I mean, Sam he's looked really good. Just
Yes.
like last year, he's in the MVP race, but I'm not going to be a full believer in him until I see him win those really tough, stressful, like division games to get high seed or a playoff game because twice he folded last year.
He
So
sure
until he
did.
does it, I'm not going to fully believe it. He's a great regular season quarterback. I
Hmm.
mean, him playing well isn't a super surprise. The level he's playing well at is a little bit of a surprise, but he's a good player. And in the regular season, he puts up some numbers. But when it comes down
Yeah.
to crunch time, can he get it done? And I know it wasn't his fault, but a couple of weeks ago when it was that back and forth game against the Bucks, he did throw that interception. Now, it got tipped, but still, he's got to throw the ball where it doesn't get tipped. So,
Yeah. Well, I think to me that interception was just a sign of. I think you get karma tokens every time that you throw an almost interception or almost fumble, and then the karma is going to eventually hit
fair.
you back. And I think that's what happened because
Hmm.
there's a play earlier in that game that it was an absolute
Yeah.
interception. It would have been a walk-in touchdown. It felt like a makeup for that. So,
Hmm. That's fair.
um,
That's
yeah.
possible. All right, let's continue on here. We're going to go to a game of two teams that what do we make of these teams? Panthers at Jets.
Mm,
So the Panthers are on a little bit of a win streak here. They're starting to play some good football. Like you said in the last episode, Bryce Young's getting a little bit unfair, like negative connotation to him. I mean, the first couple of games he didn't play very well, but he has got a little rhythm here, looked a little better. Rico Dowdle's looking like the best running back in football right now, which is wild. And now he's going against the Jets defense, which they played well last week, but that was overseas. Those games are always weird. I don't believe this defense is back yet. They have a lot of talent, but I don't think it's back yet. So I think the Panthers should be able to put up some points against the Jets. I'm not saying like 30 or 40 points, but they should be able to move the ball and look like a competent offense. And until the Jets and until Justin Fields can look like a team that I have faith in,
mhm.
I'm not going to pick them. And I don't know what else to say about the Jets other than they're going to be sellers at the deadline, most likely. Brees Hall probably not going to be on that team in a few weeks. He's a guy that also could go to the Chiefs. Chiefs get Brees Hall. That's phenomenal because they haven't signed him. I think they re-signed. I believe they re-signed Williams and they re-signed Sauce Gardner and they re-signed Wilson. So those guys are staying, but Brees Hall has not been re-signed. So he could very well be moved. This is at the Jets, but still, the Jets have not proven they could win any game, even though they almost beat the Bucks, but they didn't. They didn't get it done. So I'm going Panthers, and this is my confidence level of 12.
Hmm. I went with 7. Um, and that's
Okay,
only because let's just wait and see how real the Panthers are. Bryce Young absolutely deserves
that's
credit for
fair.
what he has done. The Jets are 0-6. They're going to be hungry for getting
Hmm.
that first win. This might be one of their best chances in the next little
Yeah,
bit of
probably
stretch.
is.
And that's nothing against the Panthers. It's just Jets play some really good teams this year. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that I would add to it. We'll see what's going to happen with the Hubbard Dowdle thing. That's going to be very interesting. This is going to be
Hmm.
a hard week for fantasy owners of either one of these running backs because it's going to be hard to know who should you trust, who's going to have the real development. But Dowdle has played like a man possessed. So
He has.
he got his revenge. Is he going to feel full or is he still hungry? I think that's going to be something
Hmm.
we can only see unfold on Sunday to find out what's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, and I probably do have too high of a confidence level in that game, but until the Jets win a game, I'm going to believe they keep losing. I know eventually they're going to win, and the Panthers aren't. the best team in the world. So this is a decent chance to pull one out. But hey, until you win, I'm not going to believe in you.
It's fair. It's fair.
Next game, we have Jackson Dart against Bo Nix. Giants at Broncos. So a couple key things here, but it's not affecting my pick very much. But the Giants are coming off a mini bye, and the Broncos are coming off from overseas. So that's something to keep an eye on because that rest factor is huge. Now, it's in Denver, and that is a really difficult place to play. With that elevation, Broncos country really believes in their team, especially now. So I think that it being in Denver balances that rest factor out a little bit. If this was at New York, I might pick New York to win this game
Mm,
because of that rest factor. Because the Giants had a week and a half, and the Broncos are flying from overseas, not getting the sleep that they need. But since this is in Denver, Broncos didn't play well against the Jets. We can all agree to that. But I just overseas games are so weird. I'm not going to put that on the Broncos. Should they play better? Yes. But they're a better team than what they showed. And their defense really showed out, getting, I think, 9 sacks against the Jets, against someone that's kind of similar to Jackson Dart, a mobile, really athletic quarterback in Justin Fields. So could that happen again? I don't think 9 sacks, but they're going to get pressure. The Broncos have the most sacks in the league right now, the most pressure. They get after the quarterback. I don't think Jackson Dart's going to have that much time. He looked good against the Eagles, but the Broncos defense is on a different level. So I think he's going to struggle this week. Cam Scatterboo, he might score a touchdown or two like he has been because the Broncos run defense isn't the best. You can run on them, but this is in Denver. I think Bo Nix in this offense is going to do enough. I don't fear the Giants defense. I have the Broncos winning this, and I have this as my confidence of 11.
wow. Um, I had to pick the Broncos too, but I went with the confidence of two. And
Okay.
the only reason why is I think Jackson Dart has really changed the locker room
Yeah,
in New York. They've played so much better. Um,
they
and
have.
you got wits on the Chargers and Eagles, and we can either act like those are two better teams in the NFL or we cannot. I think they are. I'm
Hmm.
not saying they're the best teams, but I think they're better teams.
Hmm.
Um, so I think the Giants are going to continue to play more competitively, and that's just the Dart effect. I think Dart has a really big impact
Yeah.
on the field of that team. I mean, Wilson went in there for one play, and already looked like a backup quarterback. I mean,
Yeah,
just
and the Giants had to kind of go past the concussion protocol a little bit sketchily and get Dart back in there. I don't think they did that right, but I don't know if they're being investigated, but that was very suspicious how Dayball was like, get him back in, get him back
yeah, it's definitely Blue Tent Gate. I will stand
in.
by
Hmm.
if Dart is out of that game, we beat the Giants.
I believe that as well. I do.
So I am a little frustrated about that, but I'm also not a loser enough to cry about the fact that that's the reason we lost.
Right.
So
Right. And the thing with Dart is he's still a rookie and he played well against the Chargers, but then look at the Saints game. He didn't show up for that game. And then he played well against the Eagles. So rookies have roller coaster rides. And I just think against probably the best defense in football, it's going to be a roller coaster ride.
fair.
He's going to be their quarterback of the future. He is legit, but it's his first year. It's literally his like what fourth start. So
Yeah,
I I just see the Broncos defense as shutting that down. If they had Malik Neighbors, it would be a different story, but I still don't think they have weapons. I just think that Jackson Dart pulled that win out against the Eagles. And I think that wasn't that at the Giants?
it was.
Yeah, so that's a big factor as well. The reason why I mean, I probably would have this higher if the rest factor wasn't a factor. If the Broncos were coming off a bye week or something, or just a normal week, but they're coming from overseas and the Giants had extra rest. But Broncos are just the better team.
It's fair.
Moving on to this is going to be a good game. This is going to be a good game. I think we might differ a little bit on this. Colts at Chargers. This is probably like what one of two games that's going to be like really competitive. Could go either way. Colts, they've played well. There's some people that are thinking they're a little bit fraudulent because they've beaten teams like if you look at their schedule, they haven't beaten a lot of good teams. They beat the Broncos when they shouldn't have. And then they lost to the Rams when I would argue that they probably should have won that game if Mitchell doesn't do something really, really, really dumb. But there are some people out there that think they're a little fraudulent, and I don't know if I'm there. I don't know if they're legit the best team in the AFC, like they're ranked right now with a record. I don't
Hmm.
think that's the case, but I think they're closer to a good playoff team more than just an average fraud team. I think they're a good playoff team. I don't think they're as good as the Bills, even though they have a better record. I don't think they're as good as the Ravens when the Ravens are healthy, even though the Ravens have been just awful this year. I think the Ravens have more talent overall, but the Colts have been playing really well. Got to give them credit. Daniel Jones is playing good, not great, but he's playing good. He's been a little surprised this year.
Hmm.
Jonathan Taylor's been possibly the best running back in football. Him and
Yeah.
Bijan are like competing against who's better.
Yes.
And the Colts defense has been bend but not break. They've given up some points, but they've made the plays when they need to. And overall, they've been impressive. And the Chargers, they're just dealing with some injuries. If they
Hmm.
were healthy, this might be a different story. It's at Chargers as well, but they're Joe Alt, I'm guessing, is probably going to miss this game again. He probably will be back next week, is what I'm guessing, because they have a short week. They play Minnesota next week, so they're probably not wanting Joe Alt to play back-to-back short week games. He's either going to play this game and miss next, or he's going to miss this game and play the next game. And I'm assuming he's going to miss this game and probably play against Minnesota. That's my guess. But Amari Hampton's not going to be there. And even though Vidal is a nice running back and Haskins has been a veteran in this league, they're not Amari Hampton. And I just think the Colts are they're just a little bit better right now. If
Hmm.
the Chargers were healthy, I'd probably pick the Chargers. But I'm going to go Colts. And I have this as a little, probably higher confidence than I should, but I have this as a nine because I believe what they're doing, and the Chargers are just a little too banged up for me to believe that they're going to win this game.
I went with a confidence of 8, so I think that we both see
Okay.
this game very similarly. And um, the Chargers' passing attack is great. It's the run game that's been inconsistent this year,
Right. Right.
and that's the problem. Now, the one sneaky part that I wonder about with the Colts is you're matching up against three pretty pretty good wide receivers. Like Quentin Johnston is not getting enough. Like, here's something I'm going to throw out as far as like that should happen. Quentin Johnston deserves votes for comeback player of the year.
I like that.
I mean,
I
he
like that.
absolutely does. Because if you look at before the season, he looked like a bust. That is what the
Hmm.
narrative was about Quentin Johnston. But
Absolutely.
overall, he has become the leader of that wide receiver group, which is
Yeah.
incredible. Like props to him. He's already at 377 yards. He had 711 last year,
Yeah. And he missed last week because he was injured. I
right?
don't know how his injury is for this week. I don't know if it was long term. I'm assuming he's back. I haven't looked into it, but yeah, that's also with him missing a week.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard he's going to be back. That's what I've
Yeah.
been reading up on. He's on a couple of my teams, and it looks like he's going to be back. Now we'll see what happens when we get there. But I
Hmm.
mean, props to this guy. 4 touchdowns this year. He has looked so much better. Um,
Right.
and maybe it's just the offense is finally clicking. Maybe the Harbaugh scheme wasn't totally processing in his brain last year to be as effective as typical. But all that to be said, I think the Colts win this one. At some point, you got to start giving Jones props. He's doing what he needs to do.
Absolutely.
He's I think it's fair. I think everyone should be able to say he's pulling the right levers. He is. He's pulling the
Hmm.
right levers to pull out wins, and that's what's happening.
Yep. This league is crazy. We've seen the parity. Wins are so important. And
Yeah.
the Colts got five of them. And if AD Mitchell again doesn't do that stupid bonehead play
Hmm.
and drop that ball before the end zone, they very well may be undefeated. That
Yeah.
that game against the Rams was a coin flip both ways. It was back and forth, good competitive game. And that's 7 points off the board for the Colts. So got to give them props. I
Yeah.
agree. All right, next up, another divisional game. Commanders at Cowboys. The Commanders, they should have won that game on Monday night against the Bears. They literally fumbled it away. They had two bad fumbles. I think the last one was a bad exchange. I think it was in the on their end of the field, about to maybe get another field goal to go up again. And then they fumbled, gave the ball back to the Bears. The Bears, 8 o'clock, kicked a field goal to win. Give the Bears credit. They did what they needed to do, but the Commanders kind of gave that one away after a good comeback. So I think they're going to be very desperate right now because
Mhm.
they know that they need to continue to win. I know the Eagles are on a little bit of a difficult stretch. Like they're not themselves right now, but they're still leading this division, and the Commanders need to keep pace. So I think they're going to be in a little bit desperation mode. And the Cowboys are a nice team, but I just don't think they have enough on defense. Their defense is just so bad. They're
Mhm.
letting Rico Dowdle put over 200 on them, and Ted McMillan scores first two touchdowns against him. And even though Dak in the offense is moving the ball well, Dak's playing really well. If the Cowboys had a better record, Dak's probably in the MVP conversation as well. But I don't think you can have a losing record and be an MVP. That's just not possible. So I don't think he right now is in the conversation. But as far as his play, it should be. But it's at Jerry World, but I don't even know how much of a home field advantage that is anymore. So I got the Commanders winning, and I have this as a confidence of 10.
I want Commander's confidence of 9. On the Dak Prescott point, I'm talking about MVP. If he beats the Packers, he's in the MVP conversation, but he doesn't beat the Packers.
Possible. Yeah.
I really believe
Yep.
that. And that you could feel somewhat good about the tie, but man, when they walked off that field, that was like the most
Mm.
weird feeling because ties don't happen almost ever on Sunday Night Football. In fact, that would have been fun to hear. And I don't think they ever shared that when the last tie on Sunday Night Football was.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But it's just games matter a little bit more in prime time. You got to look better
Mm-hmm.
to me if you're going to expect to get the award votes and the recognitions and
Mm-hmm.
but I think the Commanders are going to come in hungry. They need the win because all three of their losses are NFC losses, so it's even worse.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Yeah.
Um, because for the Eagles, only one of them is an NFC loss. One of them is a divisional loss, which is, not great. But
Mm-hmm.
it's very hard to be in your division undefeated. It's typically 5-1, like if you're having a good season.
Right.
So we'll see what happens for the Eagles, but I think the Commanders will win. Got a 9. Um, Big difference is the defense. Dan Quinn has just got this Commanders defense rolling for the most part.
And again, it's crazy how a change of coach can really change an organization.
Isn't Here's the crazy thing. He was on the Cowboys staff.
Mm-hmm.
I
Their D coordinator and the defense was playing well at that time.
I mean, I remember the talk was that Dan Quinn was the better coach than McCarthy. I mean, there was a lot of Cowboy circles that were embracing
Yeah.
that narrative, and hard to wonder. It's hard to wonder about that.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say. We'll see if McCarthy ends up elsewhere to kind of reprove himself again. But yeah,
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of McCarthy, his old team, the Packers at the Cardinals. I'm just great with segues today. Um, so
this was a
I'm
better
gonna start with the
segue,
Card.
Andrew.
I'm gonna start with the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett looked pretty decent last week against the Colts. But you made the point of backups do that for like a game, but they're not consistent, and that's fair. I don't know if it's going to be Kyler Murray. I'm assuming it is. I don't think Kyler Murray's injury was long term. I think he was close last week to playing. They just, I think, last minute said, no, let's sit you, let's play Jacoby. And they almost pulled out a win. Got to give them credit. They played well. But that's just the Cardinals' way. Every game is a close game, even when it shouldn't be. Even teams they should win, it's like, are they going to win or are they going to lose? It happens every single time. I mean, I bet their point differential right now is probably like a minus 12 because they're 2-4, but it's probably like very close. I wouldn't be surprised because every game is just down to the wire. They have not blown out a team and they have not been blown out. They have talent on their team, but they're just dealing with so many injuries. Marvin Harris Jr. is in concussion protocol, I'm assuming, because usually concussion protocol, you miss 1 week. I'm assuming he's going to miss. So that hurts. Their running backs are decimated. It's going to be Michael Carter and Bam Knight, and if DeMarcado even gets on the field anymore because of that bad fumble he had, they're just a team that's in shambles right now. They're very competitive, but they just cannot get any wins. And with the Packers, they're leading the North right now. Got to give them credit. They pulled out a win. They didn't play great against the Bengals, but again, we say win's a win's a win. and they got to win. Jordan Love is stats wise is playing really well. He has almost 1,300 yards passing, 9 TDs, 2 picks. That's really good, but he just hasn't shown that amazing awe factor. It's not been like, whoa, he's here. He's just played well. He just played well. Josh Jacobs had a great game last week. The Cardinals defense is fine, but doesn't really scare you. And I'm going to be doing something. I think I mentioned this last time. Every single week, the Packers don't play the Vikings. I'm picking the Packers at my highest confidence level. That way, it's a win-win for me. If they win, I get 15 points. If they lose, the Packers lose, and it's awesome. So I got the Packers at confidence of 15.
Wow. This reverse psychology is over the top, Andrew. Um,
Hey, I think it's smart. I think it's brilliant. It's a win-win every single week until the Packers play the Vikings. Then I'm probably going to pick the Vikings, depending on the situation.
this sounds like a cope mechanism, but hey, whatever you have to cope, however you have to cope, Andrew. I got the Packers, confidence level of 10. Um, the Cardinals are just, they're struggling. Also, I looked at their point differential. Their point differential right now is 3.
Wow.
Except, guess what the Eagles' point differential is?
Let's see, the two losses. One loss was a little bit of a blowout. I'm gonna say it's like 8,
It's a -1.
-1. Wow.
That is
Okay.
not good. The 49ers are a -3. Um,
That's
so
crazy.
we'll see what that's going to happen on that one. But I, yeah, got to go with the Packers. I definitely think they're better positioned right now, and
Hmm.
um, we're different on Jordan Love. I give him credit. He's looked fairly good. Um,
No, I agree. I just don't think he's an elite level quarterback that everyone's already given him. I just think there's something missing. He's really good. I think him and Jared Goff are similar. I think Goff makes better decisions, but I think Love has a better arm talent. So I think they're both in that good to really good bin, just not elite bin that everyone's been given Jordan Love for like the past 2 years.
that's
That's what I would
fair.
say.
That's fair. Yeah, but I definitely think the Packers pull this one out. If Jacoby Brissett starts again, I just think the magic wears off.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Okay, we have 3 games. I'm gonna kind of fly through a little bit because we got to get to the best game. We got to get to the main game. But next one, Sunday Night Football, Falcons at 49ers. Falcons have played well the past few weeks. Ever since their bye week, they're kind of a different team, especially offensively. Bijan's looked like the best running back in football. Him, like I said, him and Jonathan Taylor are competing for that.
Mhm.
Drake London's looked phenomenal the past few weeks. Thank you very much, Drake London, because I have you in a couple leagues that you're really carrying me right now, especially last week where I barely won and you scored over 30 points. So thank you, Drake. That was awesome. And Michael Penix he's been dealing the ball, getting it out where he needs to get it out. First few games, he did not play well, but recently, it's looked pretty good. And the 49ers are just dealing with so many injuries. I think Brock Purdy's probably going to be back, but is that an upgrade over Mac Jones? I'm not fully convinced. Maybe, but I don't know. Mac Jones has played well. That's just props to Mac Jones. I think Ricky Pearsall is probably back, so the wide receiver core should be back. I don't know about George Kittle. I know he's close. I don't know if this is the game or if it's next week. I'm thinking it's next week,
I think you're right.
but they're starting to get some guys back. It's at San Francisco. San Francisco should win this game, but like I said, I had to pick some upsets, and this is one of my upsets. I like what the Falcons are doing. I think the Bills win was more on the Bills than the Falcons. I think the Bills have some things they need to work on, but I'm going to go with the Falcons. I got to pick an upset here or there. This is one of my upsets. I got the Falcons confidence level of 6.
I got the 49ers and feel very comfortable about that confidence level of 11. Um,
Okay.
Michael Penix this year has 4 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That's like
First few weeks wasn't good, but the past
bad
couple
news.
weeks he's been playing better.
I mean, he got a touchdown. I don't know. I feel like, see, this is like funny because you talked about Jordan Love getting too much hype. Penix is getting too much hype right now after a Bills win. Let's give it a moment
That's fair.
here. Let's see
That's
what
fair. That was
happens.
more Bijan that won that game.
Same thing with the Vikings game. Uh, we'll see what happens again
Hmm.
when Bijan gets shut down again and what a team does to respond to that. But
Yeah.
if I'm Salah, I'm daring the Falcons to throw it to me. Throw it to receivers. Let's see
Hmm.
what you can do. If Kill's not back, if Pearsall's out, throw it. Or excuse me, what am I doing here? I'm thinking of the 49ers receiving core, but I'm daring it to throw it to, NFL best tight end Kyle Pitts, the generational talent who's, supposedly been so amazing that he's going to take over a game, throw it to Drake London. Um, but I mean, he had 62% completion rating on Monday night against the Bills. Like he had yards. He had yards. He had a touchdown. I just think it's like, all right, let's take a moment, breathe. This wasn't like epic. It was a
Hmm.
improvement. I just think he's getting too much credit. So for me, I easily pick the 49ers. I think Jones or Purdy are an upgrade and better than Penix right now. And I think they're going to make the decisions to
That's
put them
fair.
in wins. And Christian McCaffrey, I mean, you can talk about Bijan Robinson being good, but Christian McCaffrey's been really good this year.
He has. He has played really good as well. He's played well. My concern with 49ers, though, is Fred Warner's now out for the year. Nick
This is
Bosa's
true.
out for the year. Their secondary has been average-ish. At times played decent, at times not played well. So their defense is what concerns me. They're getting healthy on offense, but their defense concerns me. And I don't know if they can stop Bijan without Fred Warner, without Nick Bosa. I know Nick Bosa's on the edge, but he has to have two people block him. And so now you're not worried about him, so you can block the interior guys. So that's where I'm at with that
That's
one. I
fair.
just think they're injuries. And again, I got to pick an upset, and that was one of my upsets. I have one more. We'll get to it.
Okay. Well, we better make sure we keep short on these next two though, because the fact we got to give
Yes.
ourselves adequate time for the Eagles.
Yes. Yes. So next up is the Lions hosting the Bakerneers. See what I did there? Because it's Baker or bust for the Buccaneers. They have nothing left on that team. Everyone is injured. It's Baker carrying him on his back. I think you really like the Bakerneers. You're going to use that from now on. Um, and I just think that that magic of carrying the team by yourself while your team is getting decimated with injuries catches up eventually. And you're going up against the Lions team that had a loss that needs to get back on track, that is very talented, a very good team. It's at Detroit. I think this is to be competitive. Baker's not going to go away. The Lions could have a three touchdown lead. I wouldn't be surprised, but then Baker's going to come back with two guys named Johnson on his team, Tez and Caleb or something like that, and just be throwing the guys you never heard of and score touchdowns. But Bucky Irving's going to be out. I think Evans is probably going to be out again. He's close, but I think he's probably going to miss. We already know Ibuka's going to be out. He's probably out for at least 2 weeks. Godwin's, I don't know if he's going to be playing or either. They're just so decimated with injuries. And the Lions' offense is healthy. They're humming. Their defense is a little banged up. And this is the game where Brian Branch is suspended. So that does help.
Mhm.
But I just think the Lions offense is going to be more than the Buccaneers can compete with. I have the Lions winning this game, and this isn't like the Packers decision picks. This isn't like reverse psychology. I truly believe the Lions are going to win this game, but I only have this as a confidence level of 2 because of Baker Mayfield. He never is out of a game.
I understand everything you're saying, and I just think the Ibuka injury. I think that this is a bit of a down week for the Buccaneers. So I have the Lions to the
Yeah.
conference at 12. It's just the timing. Timing to me is the reason
Okay.
why I look at this
Okay.
matchup. The Lions are coming
Hmm.
in. They just lost a really big game. The Buccaneers just won a big game against the 49ers and have come off a little bit of a big game stretch as far as wins.
Hmm.
This feels like a perfect time to lose this game.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think that we will most likely see the Lions pull it out. Um, but
Hmm.
the Bakerneers they're gonna be competitive. Baker's been good, man. He really has been.
He's the MVP right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only reason why it's a 2 for me. It's just because Baker.
Hmm.
I just can't pick against him. I mean, I technically am, but it's really difficult to do that. Okay, so next up, the second Monday Night Football game. Why are we doing this? At least this one's spread out. It's 5 and 8. So hey, it's more spread out.
Yeah,
But last week,
I was gonna
last week
say
was horrible.
this last week was dumb.
It was horrible.
I know I think they're piloting right now for which one they like more, but this one makes way
This
more
does.
sense.
This does make sense, even though the Buccaneers Lions game starts a little early. So you're basically right off of work and like, oh, snap, there's football instead of like eating dinner or anything. But at least it's spread out. You can watch both games. Um, Last one is Texans at Seahawks. Texans coming off a bye. It's really good for them. Try to figure out their offense because it hasn't been great. They won the week before. They're starting to make a little hay, starting to get things together a little bit, but it was against a Ravens team that was decimated, didn't have Lamar Jackson, and their defense is awful. So I don't know how much credit you can give that win. And the Seahawks are looking legit right now. It's
Hmm.
at Seattle, still a really tough place to play. We already talked about Sam Darnold looking really good. Now, this is going against a top four defense, top three defense. So Sam Darnold's going to have a tough day. He's going to be pressure in his face. And as a Vikings fan, I know when he gets pressured, he doesn't do very well because he doesn't just his processing speed isn't the fastest sometimes. So the Texans could rattle him a little bit. This could be a competitive game, but I'm going to go Seahawks. They're the better team. I think Jack Smith and Jigba is just going to be too much for that Texans defense. I have the Seahawks with the confidence of 7.
A Seahawks confidence of 13. I'm just not a
Okay.
believer in the Texans right now. And it's beyond Stroud. It's not the fact that I'm trying to pile on Stroud. It's just this team. It just has issues, and I don't really know
Yeah.
if they can fix it, especially offensive line.
hmm Yeah, the offensive line is their biggest issue. If they had a competent O line, they could be a decent team because their defense is,
It's
like I
great.
said, it's elite.
Yeah, the
But
defense
that
has been good.
offensive line is so bad that it is just a big concern. All right, let's get to the game of the week. 11 o'clock. Eagles at Vikings.
The should have
Um,
been Sunday night football game, but the NFL was too
yes.
foolish.
Yes, they did listen to us. We tried to tell them, but they didn't listen. Anyway, it's too bad on them. Vikings coming off their bye, trying to get a little healthier. Donovan Jackson, left guard, is going to be back. Blake Cashman, their middle linebacker, who has been on IR, he's most likely going to play. I think that's going to really help out the run game specifically because our linebackers, Ivan Pace Jr., he's still young. He's his second year. He's a great pass rusher. He's very athletic, but he just doesn't get in the gaps the right way. And he's been missing a few tackles here and there. But Blake Cashman coming back, he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. Last year, when Blake Cashman played, we were undefeated until the last game of the year against the Lions when Sam Darnold folded. But when Blake Cashman was out for 2 games, we lost those 2 games. So he is kind of like one of the leaders of that defense. He's very important. So I'm really happy that he's going to be back. Hopefully he's enough to at least contain Saquon enough to not have him go off for 203 touchdowns, which he can easily do. He hasn't done yet, but Saquon, he's awesome. And as far as a quarterback is concerned, it's still up in the air. So KOC's probably playing some games here because on Wednesdays, the starting quarterback goes up to the podium to answer questions. He has both McCarthy and Wentz going up there today. I'm thinking, man, you're really playing some shady games here. But I don't dislike it, but he knows who's starting. He knows in the back of his mind who's starting. He just wants them both to go up there so he doesn't really show his hand. And again, if I was going to guess, I would guess it's McCarthy because he's already practicing and KOC really believes in McCarthy. That is his guy, and he wants to get him out there as soon as possible. And Wentz is also a little banged up, his non-throwing shoulder, so it's not horrible, but he's also a little banged up. So it's a coin flip for me, but I think it's going to be McCarthy. That's my guess. I don't know if that's good or bad for the Vikings overall, but that's just my guess. I kind of hope I'm wrong because I want to see Carson Wentz against the Eagles because that's a great storyline. But then at the same time, I want to see McCarthy play more. So I'm kind of torn. But overall, this is at Minnesota. The Eagles are coming off back-to-back weeks where their offense is in flux and they have so much negativity going on. This very well could be like last year where they started 2-2 and there's so much negativity and they just turned it around, look like a totally different team. But I think my biggest concern for the Eagles is the defense. We touched on that last week. Your second corner is very suspect. Your main two defensive corners and Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, they're a little banged up. They might give it a go, but they're still not fully healthy. And I think you're truly missing Milton Williams. Your D line rotation isn't the same. Jalen
Mm.
Carter and Jordan Davis are awesome, but they don't have that guy to spell them and keep them fresh like they did last year. So I think it'd be a disservice to this show and to me if I didn't pick the Vikings to win. If I'm being honest, would I anticipate them winning? Probably not. I'd probably say the Eagles should win this game. But as far as the show is concerned and the picks are concerned, I gotta go Vikings. I'm giving it as a confidence of 5.
Mm. Those are all good. They're good factors, man. And I understand where you're coming from. I'm going to go with the Eagles, confidence of 6. I'm just going to throw it out there, Andrew. I'm not going to build up to it. We're already at the end. It's fine. Um, I, Jalen Hurts doesn't unravel. Like that's been, I think, a pretty good factor for him
Yeah.
overall. Even in the stretch in 2023, I wouldn't blame him the falling out. I just felt like the pieces around him fell out, especially the
Mm.
defense. That Cardinals collapse, the Giants collapse, the Seahawks collapse. Oh man, it's painful thinking about those games, but I chalk that up to defensive struggles.
hmm
I think there's some differences versus then and now. And, James Bradbury was our number 2 back then, and he hit a wall. He hit a wall, and it wasn't just kind of sort of. He really hit a wall. He could not keep up with any of the receiving targets he was asked to keep up with to go down the field.
hmm
There's like 5 yard separation sometimes. He just could not keep pace. And the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Giants all exploited that. For us with our cornerbacks, I wouldn't say that that's been as bad of an issue. It's been more of out of position and we tackle them, but it's a little too late. So to me, this game is going to really come down to we're starting to see some some apparent trends with the defense. Are the Eagles off, or is the Eagles offense going to take off and put it in a position to make it easier for the defense? If the defense can play where we're ahead, it's easier, I think, to be able to stop the Vikings. If we allow the Vikings to get ahead, then that's where I think the wheels come off and we can start seeing a really bad game.
hmm
Um, I just think this is a gotta have a game for the Eagles right now. Like they know they have to
Yeah.
get this. They have to snap this losing streak that they have. Um, I do think the extended rest is helpful in coming into this matchup. Now, there are factors to keep in mind too with Landon Dickerson. There's the AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts thing. I wanted to share this quote with you. Um, this was a really good quote that came up yesterday, but where is that at? Found it. Um, and interesting enough, this came out last week, but someone asked, like, you have all the same people, you have all the same players. Why is it you're struggling being on the same page? And this is what he said. I think it's like having all the same ingredients, but having a different chef in the kitchen. I think that's kind of been what it's been for us over the years. You can have the same ingredients and somebody can make the same dish and it tastes very different.
Mm.
And take that for what you will. But I think I know who he's talking about there. And that's Kevin Patullo.
Yep.
And,
Certain play caller. hmm
it might suck to get called out like that, but I think it's an important call out.
hmm
I mean, even when Brian Johnson was the offensive coordinator back in 2023, the offense looked better. It did. It looked better than it's looking right now. And at some level,
Yeah.
Patullo has to take flack for that. Sirianni has to take flack for that. Execution's got to be there. But that quote to me is very interesting. I just feel like Lane Johnson saying the offense is predictable. Like I feel like the
hmm
Eagles are soft messaging to the ownership. We need your help to straighten things out with our coach. We need your help to help make it clear, like these are things that we got to do differently. Um, so I think that this is a good bounce back week for them. The Vikings are a good team. I just think that extended rest. If they get Jalen Carter back, which I'm hearing that he is going to be back, and
Hmm.
I mean Zadarius Smith is a loss. I wouldn't say it's like a substantial loss, but it's a loss.
Right.
The Jalen Carter effect is the bigger one. If we can get Jalen Carter back, that's going to have a huge impact on this game. But and also the Eagles, like the offense looked pretty good in parts. It's just they collapsed at different points. AJ Dillon doesn't need to be anywhere near the field after that fumble. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, both fumbles, right? Did he fumble on the kickoff too, or did he only fumble on the drive? I
The
think
kickoff was Bigsby.
Bigsby and Mechie. But I think the Eagles are going to bounce back here. So I got confidence level of 6. We'll see what happens. Um, they got to win though. I mean, we talked about the Commanders feeling pressure. The Eagles will feel pressure in this game. They have to win this
Hmm.
game. They really do,
Hmm.
or else we are looking at a 23-23-esque collapse. Like high start, promising wins, but then just inexplicable, can't finish. But the Pride just can't get past Andrew. They beat the Bucks, they beat the Chiefs, they beat the Cowboys, and they beat the Rams. 4 legitimate wins. Like that,
Hmm.
even that season, I don't think you could this early point to this many great wins. Like wins like you can hang your hat on and be proud of. Um, I don't think that was the same case with the Eagles of 2023. Now, the Bills Chiefs stretch, that's different, but that was later in the year. So we're going to know a lot after this game. Justin Jefferson's going to be hard to
Yeah.
stop. It is also on the road, which does not help us. But I still feel like this is a get right week for the Eagles.
Okay. We will see what happens. I think this game in particular is gonna either be where I catch up or you extend your lead to where it's almost not catchable
One can hope, Andrew.
because it's 6-5, so it's 11-point difference. Now watch them tie.
Don't say that. We do not need a tie right now. We need a win.
No.
Win.
Yes. If it goes to a tie, I want one of the team to say, "Hey, here's the ball. Go score on us. I don't want to win this game." Oh, well, we'll see what happens. This is fun. Both teams are coming off rest. Both teams trying to figure themselves out, and we'll see who they are on Sunday.
Yep, that is absolutely right. So it'll be
Yep,
interesting. It'll be a good matchup. So looking forward to it.
absolutely. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us this episode of the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and we will see you next time.
We'll see everybody.